guys, Mike here. So today's cult classic review is 1984's Dune, starring Kyle MacLachlan as Paul Atreides. In Dune, a Duke's son raises an army against the Galactic Empire to free his desert planet from the Emperor's rule. And so we have Dune. So guys, this is another movie in this series that before watching and reviewing it today, I had not seen it before. And to be honest, I don't think I recall anyone really talking to me about this film or saying that I need to see it. And before watching, I didn't really know what it was about, so I didn't really have any major expectations going into it. So, what did I think of Dune? Well, for starters, my biggest issue with Dune is that it throws so much information at you and it barely gives you any time to process it. Honestly, it feels like Dune's given you a season's worth of television in about 30 to 45 minutes. And honestly, I feel like some of it probably could have been left out. There are so many characters, so many names, so many planets, so many resources that you have to try and remember. And for the longest time, I found this story quite hard to follow. And I was starting to really lose interest in it. And come the second half of the movie, I got quite tempted to turn this film off. That was until the second half of the film. The story starts to settle down a bit more, they start to simplify the plot a little bit, and they explain some things which they didn't necessarily explain beforehand. Like, one of my questions was, why did he keep making stupid noises every time he shot his weird gun? And then later on they explain, it's a gun that's powered by sound, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Now I see why he's making those noises. And at the same time, it made the weapon a lot more interesting. And from that point on, the second half of the film just got more and more interesting for me. Because in the second half, it basically just boils down to building an army to fight the Empire. And they do a good job of explaining why they're doing it, how they're doing it, and how they hope to win in the end. And as well, they did a better job of explaining what the spice was. Because, my god, the amount of times they say spice within the first 30 seconds of this film is insane. Every time they said spice, I just kept seeing this in my head over and over again. And I found that it is still somewhat ambiguous as to what the spice is and what it actually is for. But still, I thought they did a decent enough job explaining what it was in the end. And Dune really feels like it earns its final battle at the end. Ultimately, the final battle scene was quite impressive. Obviously, it and the rest of the movie is quite dated by today's standards. There were some effects that looked absolutely terrible, and there were some, probably more the practical effects, that still look quite decent to this day, because I could tell a lot of it was more practical than it was special effects. Because though I didn't exactly know who everyone was, I thought Dune did a really good job trying to set up each of the armies, what they're for, and how they're fighting against each other and what they're fighting for. In the end, Dune's second half ultimately saved the whole film, and it kind of made me think a bit more about the first half and how it actually did quite make a lot of sense now. I would say that Dune does require a second watch to fully understand what's going on, and though I did enjoy it, I don't think I'd actively seek out watching this film again. If there came a reason that I should watch it again, like someone who I'm with says that they haven't seen it before and they asked me if I wanted to watch it, I'd probably say, yeah, I'd give it a second watch. But as of right now, myself personally, I wouldn't seek this one out again. Though I have heard that they are remaking Dune and it's supposed to come out this year. You know, if anything's going to come out this year. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what that's going to be like. So guys, would I consider Dune a personal cult classic, and would I recommend that you guys should see it? Though in the end, I did quite enjoy Dune, I wouldn't put this as a personal cult classic. I've seen so many sci-fi movies, and I don't think really this one goes above any of my favourite ones. Though it had quite a lot of interesting concepts, I don't think it really offered enough for me to ultimately put this one as a favourite sci-fi movie. Though, as for recommending you guys to see it, I'd say that this one is kind of a bit of a tricky one. Because though as a whole, I did enjoy this film, it was definitely because of the second half why I did quite like this one. Because honestly, I did struggle to get through the first half, and the second half probably wasn't worth all that struggle. I reckon on a second viewing it would definitely be worth it. But honestly, if you're struggling to get through the first half, I'd say just kind of turn this one off, because I don't think the end is worth it in the end. But I mean, if you want to stick it out like I did, I'd say this is definitely a decent watch. I would say that this is one of my more preferred films in my cult classic series, but as for myself personally, I didn't really think Dune was all that in the end. But I can definitely see why so many people love this movie and why it's become a cult classic. Okay guys, that's my cult classic review of Dune. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Whatever you think, drop it in the comments below. Until next time, I've been Michael. See ya!